link in there. But what I'm going to run through today is the toolkit that we put together around Couch to Fitness, a quick update on the current promotion that we're doing through paid media, and then a chance for any questions at the end. Aim for today was to bring partners up to speed. So I know particularly we've got mostly active partnerships on the call today. Hopefully this is some useful information for you to be able to take away. So if you want to activate this in your local area, that you can then share this with your local authority partners or other partners who might want to support this. And again, we'll share this recording so that people can also access that if they want to see the original presentation. So Couch to Fitness started as a part of the project that was led by Sport England to try and address the inequalities that were being widened by the COVID-19 pandemic. So specifically, what was found was in March, April, May, the lockdown conditions were meaning that they were having a disproportionate impact on ethnically diverse communities and lower socioeconomic groups. And we felt that during that time there was a really good opportunity to try and use an approach that we'd used before, which was around using targeted Facebook and Instagram advertisement to reach audiences, to support them, to be active during this time. We worked closely with Sport England to run a Couch to 5K campaign, which I've talked about quite a few times, and there's another webinar if people want to see that, which we'll add links to as well. Part of that campaign was that the audience said to us that they actually also really wanted an at-home fitness offer that would help them to be active at home, again, particularly as these groups were more likely to be being affected by COVID-19 and were more likely to maybe feel a bit nervous or apprehensive about exercising outside. So when we looked at the range of activities that were available and that were, I guess, occurring during the early stages of the lockdown, we felt that there was a space for a program type activity for on demand. So there's lots of online and live sessions. There's lots of on-demand sessions and thousands of videos that you can pick and choose. What we felt was actually that the structure that we'd seen work really well with Couch to 5K was something that we should try and replicate within an at-home fitness offer. So that's where Couch to Fitness came from, and the product was developed by RParks. So RParks are a community fitness organisation. They started out in London, and they now offer classes kind of across the country. They, as per their name, they kind of predominantly operate in parks, offering free fitness classes for the community. For this project, they kind of very quickly got together a 9-week program, which has 3 sessions a week that they've filmed, and people can now follow that at their own pace and complete the program. We saw some really good results from the first set of promotion that we did for this product in London. So we saw that 54% of people who signed up and regularly took part were from ethnically diverse communities. So we found actually that the product was really resonating with that audience, and we were getting a much higher take up than you would expect from those audiences from a general promotion. So we felt that there was a real opportunity to take forward that approach with this product and scale up that to help more people across the country, specifically during the second lockdown and as we go into, I guess, the tiered phases. So during November and up to December, so at the moment scheduled to finish around the sort of 3rd or 4th of December, we're going to be doing a program of promotional activity. So running from a Get Active Facebook channel, which is a channel operated by London Sport, but actually not specific to London. It can be used elsewhere, and supported by Sport England. So we'll be running some social media promotion on Facebook and Instagram to try and reach audiences and get them to sign up. And I guess the key thing from today is we want to again give other partners the opportunity to promote this as well. So as I mentioned, Couch to Fitness is a 9-week program designed for beginners, developed to be easy to follow, and builds up over time. It nominally has 3 sessions a week, with the rest days kind of suggested in between, and it has 3 instructors. So each of the instructors is delivering exercises at a different intensity. What we quite often see is beginners will start to follow Christine, one of the instructors. They'll go through the program following her kind of modifications on the exercise. Once they've completed it, they might then go back and start the program again. and follow Bourne or Danny, who are doing, again, slightly more intense options. We found that that's a really important part of the program that the beginners have found useful for it. Also, when they're going through the program, they can access it via the RParks website. So each time they do a class, it's recorded that they've completed that class, and the next video will be ready for them. And there's also a program of motivational emails that run alongside this to kind of prompt them to re-engage and keep them going. Alongside the program, we developed a Facebook group. We've seen Facebook groups work really well over the last kind of few months, particularly supporting people to be active during this time with a number of different products. And for Couch to Fitness, we set up a group that kind of very quickly built up to be a really useful source of peer-to-peer motivation, questions and answers, and just generally people kind of feeling part of a group as they're doing this. And there's a couple of examples below of some of the posts, and again, there's links to the group in here, and it's well worth kind of a look at the experiences of people going through the program, how they're motivated by talking to others and sharing their experience as they go through it. So as I've mentioned, the promotional strategy is that we'll be running some paid targeted social media promotion in target areas of the country. Again, I showed a map last time. I did a webinar with tiny pins in it. Again, relatively kind of small images here, but actually there's a link here in the toolkit which takes you to the full map where you can scroll in and you can see the areas that we've identified as areas with a higher percentage of the population from those key ethnically diverse communities. So, I mean, broadly, particularly, it's looking at areas such as Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Leicester, but actually across lots of the counties across England, we are reaching audiences. That campaign is ongoing, and I'll feedback on how well we've got on with that so far in a minute. But the rest of the toolkit today is around how you could take this, how partners could take this, and promote the product in their area. So we put together some basic social media post copy options. So these are things that we've tested over the summer. We've run lots and lots of different versions of copy to try and see what really engages audiences around this program. One of the things that kind of performed best was positioning it away from traditional forms of exercise or what people might expect they need to do to get fit. So the idea around you don't need an expensive gym membership, you don't need fancy trainers, and then saying actually all you do need is this at-home exercise program. Also highlighting the number of people who are also doing this. There's a kind of social element of it, even though it is an individual program. That's worked really well. So the messages where we've been able to say, actually, there's 10, 15, 20, 30,000 people taking part in this. And then more recently, we started to tweak the messaging to try and reference the current context. So as winter draws in, as we see the people wanting to stay in more, actually an at-home fitness offer is particularly useful. One of the things that we've seen people be perhaps a bit suspicious about is if this really is a free program, and it is a completely free program that's run by kind of RParks. It's there, it's operating, it's free forever. It was funded by Sport England to do that. So re-emphasising that element to the program as we found quite useful, and highlighting the fact that it is designed for and suitable for beginners. We've also developed some social media post copy around the Facebook group and how you can get the support and motivation from that, around kind of key messages around being part of a group, connecting with others. And interestingly, most of the posts that we see are around people sharing their own progress. So saying what week, what session they're on, how they're getting on, or noting that actually they've been thinking about joining for ages and they've finally kind of done it today and they're going to stick with it. So we see that as a really kind of powerful motivator for people in the group. Just highlighted a couple of the kind of guess things to avoid in terms of promoting it. Certainly not looking to this to be a weight loss program, and not looking at around kind of trying to be the fittest or the kind of really high intensity exercise sessions. So we want to make sure that we avoid those. And then we just included some information about how to potentially enhance social media activity. So again, whether that's you doing this or whether this is you talking to partners and kind of partners having communication plans for getting this out. So you've got the RParks organisation Twitter feed and Facebook feed who are talking about Couch to Fitness and sharing lots of content lots of good positive stories of people who've been going through it, and some quite interesting stuff with the instructors as well. They've got some quite good videos that they've done both on Instagram and within the Facebook group that kind of profile the instructors or show, I guess, different ways of doing the exercises and responding to people within those groups. So you've got our parks. The Get Active page is the one that's running the ads, so we are engaging and supporting people into the our parks program. And then I guess Stay In, Workout, Join the Movement at the moment is doing social media activity it related to current lockdown and going into the tiers, and maybe useful to include. The hashtags that are used, I guess Couch to Fitness and Tone Up is something that our parks use, but both of those hashtags could be used in this promotion. Got two links here. So one is to the landing page. The landing page really is where we're trying to direct everyone to. Once you're on the landing page, there is a sign up process. Once they've signed up, all the videos are then available on that landing page. So it really is, I guess, like a one-stop shop. That's where to go to access the program, to sign up, and then to take part in it. And then we've got a separate link, which is to the Facebook group, which is where, again, if people are taking part in the activity already, then they can join there and engage with others. Now, one thing that we found from running the Couch to 5K campaign in the summer, when we then did this kind of local activation through partners, when we talked to our local authorities and our boroughs and gave them a toolkit like this for Couch to 5K, they were kind of very happy with it. They took it away. They could run their own campaigns and drive people to the landing pages and to the app downloads that we suggested. But the missing link was, how do they track actually the impact of what that local activity is? So we've been looking at a few different options, and this is something that I think may be suitable. It's probably worth, I guess, testing and getting feedback on this time. But we looked at how local areas could use link shorteners. So a link shortener such as RBGY, the example here, is quite a simple thing. You go to it, you take the Couch to Fitness landing page, paste it into that shortener, and it will generate a short link like this for you. And then you could use that in any local activity that you were doing. So whether that was from local authorities sending out emails or through Twitter or Facebook posts promoting the campaign, if an area was using the same URL, then that would all be tracked. And to find out how many people are clicking on that link, all you'd need to do is actually use that same URL, but add a plus sign to the end of it. So it then looks like this. And then you get access to a quick dashboard that simply shows you how many people have been clicking on the link each day. And it's something that we're going to be trying in London, I guess, to support our partners. Only thing to note on that is, I guess, there is maybe a slight bit of, again, suspiciousness around when people use link shorteners. So you might just want to consider, does that kind of add enough value to you compared to, say, using a full link like the our parks or Couch to Fitness. So we've created some creative, so videos and images that can be used, and we've got an access here where you can click to download those. We've got 3 videos that we provided. So 2 videos that were shot initially, and these look at trying to communicate what is in the actual program. So talking about the benefits of taking part and actually the activities that take place within Couch to Fitness. And then a 3rd video that we cut together with some of the participants from Couch to Fitness. And so all 3 of those videos have been performing really well when we run them on Facebook. And then a series of images. So again, looking again at our kind of key target audiences around people from ethnically diverse communities, looking at the messaging around why someone might get started or how someone got started, or looking at the social aspect of that. So we've got 4 images there that can be used, and they're again all suitable to access from this link here. And I guess as the promotion is going on, we'd love to hear how it's being used. So from yourself or from partners, if there are some good stories, please do keep in touch and let us know. My last slide here is just a quick update on the paid social campaign that we're running at the moment. So the current promotion, which started at the weekend, so we've been running now for about 6 days in total. So we've reached 750,000 people across the country, predominantly in those focus areas. We've had 11,000 people sign up to the program. And you can see on the right-hand side here, the areas where kind of the highest number of sign-ups have come from. And again, this will represent, I guess, the areas where we are most focusing the advertising spend. Overall on Couch to Fitness, back from when it kind of first started back in July, we're now just hit over 40,000 people who've signed up. We know that about 33% of people who sign up go on to complete 2 or more classes. And as I mentioned earlier, we've got 54% are from ethnically diverse groups. One thing that I haven't got on here is actually in terms of male-female split. We've seen a very, very heavy skew towards female. Certainly, it seems to really resonate with women, and women from a sort of 45 plus has been the kind of core demographic in terms of our Facebook promotion, who have responded the most and signed up the most. So in terms of this campaign, actually, we're focusing pretty much exclusively on trying to reach more women from those audiences in those areas. So I'm going to now try and unmute everyone and open up some questions. I don't know, Claire, if you wanted to jump in and just say anything around this current promotion of Couch to Fitness.
I don't think I've got anything to add, actually. I think you've covered everything there.
Great,
but happy to answer any questions that anyone's got.
Brilliant. I'm going to unmute everyone, and please do, yeah, jump in. There's only, I think, 10 or 11 of us on the call, so any questions, go ahead.
Hi Chris, it's Caitlin from Westport. That sounds brilliant. Just a quick question in terms of when they sign up. At the moment it says boroughs. Is there any chance that can have like /postcode or something? I'm just thinking around our area, a lot of people won't understand what that means. Yeah,
we've looked at adding postcode actually into the sign up process rather than borough, and the tech guys behind our parks are looking at that.
Amazing.
At the moment, so I'm not sure exactly when we'll be able to do that, but we do recognise that, yeah, borough is maybe not the best description, and that may be, yeah, something that people might struggle with in the sign up process.
Cool, thank you.
Chris, this is Artie from Sport Birmingham. I just wanted to understand a little bit about sort of the Birmingham specific sign-ups, and from our perspective, how we can kind of support that further. And I know we were going to have a separate conversation regarding Birmingham, but it's just kind of thinking about how we loop it into the more regional campaign we're doing around Join the Movement over sort of December, January.
Yeah, definitely. We're kind of really keen, particularly, I guess, in the areas where we know that there's been quite a significant amount of spend to try and engage those audiences. So, one, we're absolutely happy to kind of take any sort of further conversations around how you might use this toolkit, these videos, images, the Couch to Fitness product within your existing Join the Movement campaign. And two, what we'll be looking at, I guess, is what could we do in terms of following up with people who are currently going to the Couch to Fitness program and have signed up with our parks to make sure that they are linked into other things that are happening. Now, it's not, we're not perhaps in a kind of as developed a situation as maybe Public Health England were with 1U, where they could segment their database based on where people are from and send them relevant information around all the different kind of local offers. But we're certainly kind of keen, I guess, to look at how we can make sure that there's access to relevant information about local activities and local programs for people who are taking part. So that may be through the Facebook group, it may be through one of the follow-up emails. But again, I think it's something we would be keen to look at. But for now, I think the main thing is, yeah, we're absolutely happy to kind of work with areas around utilising this toolkit and the videos and images.
Great. It looks like a great toolkit. So yeah, it's really good presentation. Thank you.
Great, thanks. We've got Natasha.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out, in terms of the targeted ads, are you also targeting all the priority areas? I noticed on the interactive map, there are some areas that have darker shading of blue. So I just wanted to find out.
So on the interactive map,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can actually share my screen. I'm going to try and reshare a different screen now. So essentially what we've done with the mapping is we looked at the postcode sectors across the country.
Yeah.
And we looked at key demographic groups from ethnically diverse communities. So the ones that the ethnic groups that came up within the Sport England survey saying that they were being disproportionately affected by lockdown. So we then kind of mapped areas of the country where 20% or over of the population were from those groups. So on this, can you see my the mapped screen now?
Yeah, okay.
So you see the filter at the bottom here, the kind of key groups. This shows that, yeah, these are the areas, the postcode areas where, yeah, there are basically a higher proportion of the audiences from these target groups. And so you can zoom in and see any area that is, I guess, highlighted is included. So there's kind of white through to darker blue, all of those areas are included. So essentially the only areas that we are excluding is postcode sectors of the country who have 20% or less of the population from those subgroups.
Oh, okay.
What we're actually doing in terms of the strategy is we are focusing more on the higher kind of proportion ones. So if I change it to about 60% here, you can see that this will then focus on some very kind of specific areas of the country. So again, particularly around Birmingham, where there are kind of postcode sectors where the kind of percentages in the sort of 60s, 70s, 80% of those postcode sectors. And that's basically how the targeting works, is we're trying to say, if we're running a Facebook ad to people who live in this area, then a higher proportion of those people are likely to be from our groups. And that's what we did quite successfully in London, and what we'll be doing, yeah, throughout the rest of this campaign.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions?
Sorry, I've got a quick question again. So,
Yeah.
I've just put it in the chat around. I'd expect you'll like share the slides so we can check out the hyperlinks and stuff offline.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I'll share that. I'll share it as an email as well afterwards.
Brilliant. And then my second question was around where you've had sign-ups for particular areas. Are you able to share that data with the different partnerships? I'm just thinking about Birmingham again, where those sign-ups have happened, what postcode areas, so that we can kind of look at how we support that campaign as well in the other areas within Birmingham.
Yeah, so that will kind of relate to the earlier question around us not at the moment capturing postcode sector on registration. So at the moment, the data that we have and that we can share is based on the council level or the borough level, which is the question someone answers when they sign up. What we don't have at the moment is the breakdown of sign-ups by postcode area, because I guess the mechanism of how we run the ads is we select these postcode areas, but actually we then don't know the individual performance within each postcode area. So for now, we'll be able to share just by, I guess, council level or borough level. If and when we can add in postcode as a kind of question on the sign-up process, then we should be able to share that data. Our intention is to map what you saw in that, I guess, that spreadsheet, that list of the top 20 areas, to actually map that and keep that updated over the next 4 to 6 weeks, so that while activity's happening, we can give you a live view of how many people are signing up from each kind of area. And as I said, if we can bring a postcode, then that would enable us to go to a bit more granular detail.
Yeah, thank you.
Any more? Okay, brilliant. In that case, as I said, I will make sure that the recording of this is shared on the hub, along with the slides, the toolkit link, and my email address is on there. Yeah, we're certainly more than happy to kind of engage in any sort of further discussions around how we can support you if you do want to take this and move it forward with partners. We did the Couch to 5K, we ran a couple of workshops, as I said, with local partners, and our relationship managers are kind of more than happy to feedback on what worked well with that when they tried to activate the Couch to 5K product in the summer. So kind of happy to share experiences. But thank you very much today. Cheers.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.